Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Patience. I decided to come at you guys with a little new one. So in this one I want to talk a little bit more about Nvidia's drivers. You got the newer version and you got the older version. The newer one being 59184 and the older version being 59174 or 59186, sorry, for the first driver, and 59174 for the previous driver. I've got the 30 series of GPU Nvidia, and before the newer driver, I did realize that everything was seamless and smooth. Ever since I uploaded the newer driver, I've realized that my applications would keep shutting down and refreshing my whole system, which I obviously found to be a problem. So what I found was going back to the previous driver is the best way of kind of rectifying that whole situation, in order to get yourself back up and running again smoothly. Hopefully Nvidia sees this as a little hiccup and raises out a newer driver for us, or fixes this one. Chances are they're going to come out with a newer driver in a short period of time. The reason why it took me so long to figure this out, guys, is because I did put a secondary GPU into my system in order to help with my lossless frames, which works like a gem. It is another Nvidia GPU, but unfortunately, because it is a previous series, it's of the 10 series, there was a hiccup between the two GPUs, I found, in my case, and they were fighting over superiorship, as it were. So my desktop kept, for some reason, choosing the 1060 over the 3080, and they would clash. As for this, the resolution would keep tripping anytime I went into my applications as well. So for this, I had to get a software called DDU, which actually helped me rectify that by deleting all drivers and refreshing my system, my driver systems for my 3080, and removing the previous GPU. After doing this, I did a clean installation of my driver for my 3080. That seemingly is not a good idea. So you do want to get your new driver onto your GPU, but just do a normal installation. It was after I did go back onto my administrator's account, I realized that it was the new driver, in my case, that was actually affecting my GPU and like kind of refreshing me out of the game. Lossless Frame actually does this as well, or did this, but simply because I was using a very high res. I was in 8K with my 3080 and I was getting very good frames, which is something that I do often. But I wanted better frames, and so usually I play at like 40 frames per second in Star Citizen. I'm playing at very high res, which is why I find it very confusing when you guys say that you like playing in 1080p and 1440p, because you could just use lossless scaling to help max out the rest of the frames. And in Star Citizen, I find it's obviously a lot easier to use one singular GPU to use the whole workload, rather than trying to get another GPU for lossless framing, because it doesn't work unless obviously the other GPU is as good as your primary. So I do kind of want to get me another 3080. I find getting another 3080 over a 5080 or 5070 is a lot easier, simply because the driver, I'm getting sick and tired of the driver conflictions, and I feel like if I get a newer GPU than my 3080, I might end up with the same issue that I had with my 3080 and my 1060 GTX. So taking this into consideration, that once you're using a higher res like 8K and then you try to use lossless, especially with an older GPU, you are gonna crash out, if I'm not mistaken. So 4K is obviously, I think, the range, the limit that you can go. And usually when I do that, and I went to Lawville, I was getting very, very good frames. I think it was in the 30s, and I'm usually at 18 frames per second. So it obviously gave me that nice extra boost, and so it was a lot better, a lot more smoother, and also no latency, which I thought was amazing. But because of that issue, using lossless scaling and testing it out to see if I could use it at higher resolution, etc., it would also do the same thing, kind of like set my system. So that's why I thought it was that. But it's only when I went into my administrator account, it's when it kind of like made itself known to me and helped me become more aware that it was actually the Nvidia driver. It was missing a DLL file. So what I had to do was manually download from Nvidia's site the previous driver, which is 59174, and reinstall that one. So that's the driver that I'm using currently now on my 30 series until the situation with the 59186 is replenished. I haven't tested to see if I now reinstall that driver, if it will work without doing a clean installation. But I'm not in no desperation, so I'm actually satisfied with how things are now, and things are working as normally as they were ever. And I can see that it works for other guys, but if you guys are having a problem out there, this may be your solution. So anyway, guys, I just want to push that onto you. Also want to give a shout out to Kabutox because it was on his live where I mentioned that I was having troubles with my my system, and it was when I was playing Tomb Raider. So I did mention that on his station. Obviously, he likes to kind of give a lot of tips and tricks how to make your loot in Star Citizen, and a lot of other stuff, how and where to find gear, etc. So he's very resourceful in that regard. So I'll try and leave a post so you guys can go check him out. Yeah, so I've uploaded a Tomb Raider situation where I'm doing like a comparison, and also since then I've done like a space engine. So if you guys are interested in that, space engine is obviously a lot more grandiose than Star Citizen in many ways. I take us from deep space exploration to Earth, where I'm able to showcase a little bit of Orion, the Orion system as we approach, and then you get the transition of Earth and our sun, Sol. So with the beautiful abstract music in the background, which is perfect for when you're doing like your essays or when you just want to get down and sleep and drift off through the night and wake up in that kind of meditative say, I just woke up my darn self now, guys. So anyway, it's your boy Patient. I hope you like what you be seasoning hers, and if you did, you leave those thumbs, those likes, and those comments down below. And if you have any queries, guys,